Hi. This is for my test knitting project that I did, part of dot com, C-O-M, and I'm getting ready to go ahead and block this. So I have my blocking mats. I have two. I don't think I'm going to need two, but I have two out just in case. I have these. I'm not sure where I got them. I think they might have come from Amazon, and they are double pointed with a hook at the top. I don't know if you can kind of see that. There we go. And then I have, so we'll leave these out just in case we need them. Then I have these pins, the T-pins that actually came with the blocking mats. And I really like these. I didn't think I was going to like them at first, but I really like these. And then I also have Knitter's Pride knit blockers, and these are way cool. There are two different sizes. There's a smaller size, and then there's a longer size, and these are great for when you're doing straight, lining something up straight. So I like those. The reason I did have some cheaper blocking mats from Harbor Freight, and they worked great for a lot of time until I was working on my master knitters course. And I found that I like these because it kind of gives me an eyeball to see when I've gotten things straight, but then you go ahead and measure your corners also. But this really helped me. The last thing I have are some blocking wires, and these are very long. They're about, oh, probably a yard, 3 feet long. And so anytime I have anything that's very long, very straight, these are really nice, especially like when I'm doing shawls. But for what we're doing today with the cowl, I think these might be just nice to use. Okay, I'm going to go and get my knitting. It's soaking right now, and I will be right back. Okay, here we are back. And I may need both of these. It's a little bit big. So I have soaked these for half an hour. Excuse me. I haven't rinsed it because I used the Eucalan, and the Eucalan that I used did not have a scent to it. So it's I like the lavender one, but my local yarn shop didn't have it at the time. So what I'm basically doing right now is just trying to use my fingers to get this pretty well worked out. Now I'm actually going to take one of my rods, and I'm going to carefully, without catching any stitches, I'm going to go ahead and catch it here. And I'm going to use one of my T-pins, or you could use one of those double pins, but I'm going to use a T-pin. And what I'm doing is I'm actually stabilizing this in the corner. And you can see I'm using my lines. So then I will go ahead and use my hands to smooth this out. And there we go. So then I'm going to go ahead and use another T-pin to hold this in place in the corner. Now you might want to use some T-pins to just kind of anchor it here. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and use another one of my rods and put it in the other side, and just trying my best to go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. I'm actually going to do it there. My table's only so long, and again, I'm going to use a T-pin to kind of secure that right there. And again, kind of pull this up. Now, before I get this one anchored, I'm going to go ahead and anchor all of these bottoms. And in order to do that, you can either use one of these rods that we've used, or you can just use your T-pins and kind of every so often Make sure that you get them anchored on your spot where you want it to be. And I use a lot of pins. I don't feel bad about using a lot of pins. It's time consuming, yes, but the rewards will be very, very, very nice once you're finished doing all of your blocking. And so I'm doing them, right now I'm doing them about every inch. And if I have to, I will go back and put some in between later. But this is basically how you go ahead and block something. And use your hands a lot to smooth things out, to get them where you want them positioned. And then once we get this bottom done, we're going to go ahead and do the top. And it's basically the same process. We just go ahead and use our T-pins to anchor it in place where we want it. And then we go ahead and use our fingers to push everything up quite nicely. And then I will use T-pins, and I'm kind of stuck because the ends of this rod are right there. They're kind of not giving for me to work. Okay, so I will go ahead and I want to make sure these are even before I start pinning things down. So I'm not doing them as closely on the top yet. Once I get them to where I kind of think they're going to be, then I'll start pinning them a little bit closer. And this is a 12 by 12. It's actually 12 by 13. And I'm going, you can see I'm doing just about every other inch right now. Until I get them, because I bound off very loosely, my top edge is a little bit looser than my bottom edge. And okay, so there we go. So there I'm going to go ahead. And then what I will do after I get these all situated, all of my pins kind of where I want them to be, I'm going to go back and look at my dimensions that this is supposed to be. And I will make sure that it is wide enough. I know it's tall enough because it's supposed to be 12 inches tall, but then I will make sure that it is wide enough. And I think it's supposed to be 24, and mine is 13, which I think basically I had to do that because of the bind off at the top. It was just a little bit looser, and so I kind of adjusted for that. It will be okay. When I make this, I will make this again. I have several of Pacific Knits. This is called the Ocean Doodle Cowl. She has an autumn doodle cowl and a holiday. She's coming out with another new one for, I think it's Portland. So that's basically all there is to blocking. And I will let this dry for 24 hours and I can see some of my stitches. Once I'm finished, I'm going to go through and actually I'll use a knitting needle because the size that I use, and I will come through here and I will actually adjust these so that there's less white showing through. And what I do is I take the both legs of a stitch. So I have the right leg and the left leg, and I just kind of loosen it up a little bit so that it hides the white that's going behind there. And this is just a little bit time consuming, but it makes your project look just a whole lot nicer. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this has helped you. I've really enjoyed doing this. The only thing I would do differently is I did try to keep my darks and light, like my dark blue and my white. The only thing I did was I did a light blue and a white for the ocean foam at the top, and it didn't come out as nice as I had hoped it would. So that is one thing I would do differently. I would use a different color in here to make my ocean. And then you can see I kind of tried to stay with the ocean theme, it's very dark at the bottom of the ocean, so I stayed darker at the bottom of my ocean, and then I got lighter as I went up. And you can see me, I'm fuddle bussing with this to make it kind of so that it doesn't make scallops, because it's been pulled a little bit to make sure that that top gets fixed. And you'll see me do this a lot when I'm making my final go at blocking something. And you can see it's getting a little bit straighter. Okay, I hope you've liked this. I will continue just messing with this, keeping it until I get it just exactly how I like it. I hope this has helped you, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll check with you again later. Bye-bye.